You're
You, my guy.
what's good, Brody? You hear me?
Shit, how you doing? Yeah, I hear you. How you doing?
Chilling, man. Everything's good. How's everything going with you?
Straight, straight, everything cool. Hold on, let me.
Word. Appreciate the opportunity, man, for the interview, man.
Oh yeah, thank you for coming on. All right, so
No doubt.
do another intro just for those who weren't here earlier. My name is Eric. This is my podcast page, EOB project. Something I started a little while ago. It's a new what you want to call it, program segment, whatever you want to call it. It's called Spotlight. Got my man here, Rob, and just gonna get right into it. So, Rob, let the people know who are you, why you popping, why you famous, all that good shit.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Rob. I'm an entrepreneur, designer, um, and a little bit about myself. I actually went to school with Eric. We both went to LaSalle University. And I met him, and we just been boys ever since. So I appreciate getting the opportunity to interview. But a little bit about myself. I own a clothing brand. It's called Stylistic Science. I'm also the owner of a design agency. It's called Design You, and I also developed two apps. I have one game app. It's called Don't Be a Hype Beast, and I also have a motivational app. It's called Stay Woke Daily Quotes. And
Right. Humble
what was the
brag.
other
You got
question,
two
Eric?
apps.
What's
No, that
up?
was it. Just like quick, like intro into like what you got. No,
Word.
just a quick intro into like what you're doing, what you got going on. So pretty much like you said, we met in college. We was in a digital arts class. I, yeah. So like, I know why I got into digital arts is because I was just trying to find a major, but he was like really into it. He was really like involved in it. Like what was the start for you? Like what made you want to like really get into that?
Middle high school, I always was the type of person that would like draw, like customize their sneakers, customize their shirts, like draw all kinds of just different cartoons and different types of art. So I knew I was a creative, and I knew I wanted to get into something in that art field, but I just didn't know how I could actually make money out of it and make a career out of it. So
Right,
when I went to LaSalle, I saw they had digital arts, and I felt that that would be a nice way to actually use my creativity, use my gift as a creative, as a way of
right.
getting to like a professional level to where I could actually make money as a profession outside of college after I graduate college and everything. So yeah, that's what
Gotcha.
got me into it. Tell you the truth, I was always like a creative, so I felt that
Oh,
was like
okay,
the
okay.
perfect major for me.
Gotcha. So you already knew what you was doing once you got into the major and everything like that.
Yeah, pretty much. It wasn't too clear, but I had an idea, and also in college, my freshman year, I started a clothing brand.
Okay.
So I was already into like the design aspect, but I just need to like sharpen it
Right.
and get like more professional, and
Right.
also get the business side. That's why I also minored in marketing. So that actually helped me
Okay.
like just understand the whole business aspect of like design and fashion and everything.
Gotcha. So like, I don't know, like, if did you have like a moment of clarity when you was like, okay, this is definitely what I'm gonna do, or like you kind of already were like, yeah, I'm gonna do it regardless of what happens.
Yeah, I kind of had a moment of clarity. Like, I mean, I kind of knew it was for me. Like, I knew I was always into business.
Hmm.
So, and I was also into design. So I felt that digital arts was definitely the best collaboration with business,
Right.
especially like in this new digital world. Like everything is digital now. So,
Hmm.
uh,
Definitely.
just like how like the world and how like work is going, a huge collaborative factor towards marketing. So that's actually what sealed the deal for me.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Mhm.
So, the clothing brand you have now, Stylistic Science, is that what you started your freshman year, or?
Yes. Yep. I started
Okay.
in basically I'll say 2013. Yeah, like my freshman year in college, 2013.
Okay.
And just to break down the clothing brand, it's called Stylistic Science, and the concept is a collaboration of science and fashion. So if you notice, like I wish I could show. I wish I was wearing my clothing, but most of my clothing is catered to science
Right.
concept with it. Also, the science of the mind. So I focus on a lot about like the mentality, knowledge, stuff of that factor. Like anything that's informed. I mean, anything that's geared towards like um, science and like just knowledge and intellectual
Mm,
concepts. Because like the whole concept is like I'm trying to uplift people mentally. You know
right.
what I'm saying? I'm trying to actually pretty much positive messaging behind it. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of stuff is just like a name, but there's no real type of concept behind it. So I really wanted to create a concept that uplifts people
True.
for the
True.
better. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So that's what I was gonna even ask you that, like, where did the inspiration for the name kind of come from? You kind of already explained that pretty perfectly. So that's dope. So like you already like
Yeah.
pretty much had your
And it
plan
came
all
from
like
tell you the
mapped
truth.
out before you went to college or something.
Yeah, it came from the stylish science. It came from when I was in high school, my senior year. I took chemistry, and I was just really
Okay.
fascinated by like the different like elements, the different formulas, and um, all that good stuff. So like I was like, and I also wanted to like design clothing at the same time. So I'm like, I was thinking at the time I was thinking of a nice concept of where I could put fashion towards like a certain topic. So
Right. Right.
science was that topic for me because I was just drawn to it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So that's actually how I came on my name, Stylely Science. And like on my logo, I wish I could show you my logo, but it's actually the periodic table elements that spell out Stylely Science.
Yeah. The shit's fire too, by the way.
Yeah, appreciate it, bro.
Yeah. So I
Appreciate it.
mean, so with Design U and Stylistic Science, I do like, do they go like hand in hand? Are they like mutually exclusive? Like, how does that work?
They actually don't. My design agency is like completely separate. My design agency is just it's just a design company that actually brands startup companies or also companies that's already established. And I just help them pretty much establish like a brand identity that will actually help them stay sustainable in their market. So I
Right.
create
So like, how does?
logos. What you say, my fault?
Oh no, no, go ahead.
Yeah, so I like some of the services I offer is company logos, um, company website designs, and also animation. And I feel those are like the most three important elements in brand identity. I feel it's
Yeah.
like a really good way to actually make them stand out in the market. You know what I'm saying? It's all about visual. People are visual creatures, so they want to see something that pops, something that really like explains the company without them actually having to actually try to understand it from like, you know what I'm saying, from like the
Exactly.
actual company's perspective. So they'll actually pretty much show the company just through design who they are.
Yeah. What's that saying? That a picture tells 1,000 words or something. So it's kind of like
That's a fact.
if your logo
Word
inspires
for
people or
sure.
it says something, you don't gotta say much. Yeah. So that's dope.
Exactly.
So
For sure. For sure.
when did yeah? So I don't know if you yeah I don't know if you spoke on it already, but how did you get into like Design U? I think you said you started that first, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, actually, I
Or
established my company in 2019 because I was actually at the college. So my profession is a graphic designer. Right, I'm currently a digital marketing manager for an engineering firm. But like my past jobs after college, I was either in like the graphic design field as a graphic designer or in the marketing field. So getting
right,
that experience like from like a corporate America standpoint, I actually really understood like how it works. You know what I'm saying? So like when I was creating logos and websites for like the job I was working for, I'm like, I can do this myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm actually making these companies rich. Why can you making myself rich doing the same
right,
thing? You know what I'm
right,
saying? So like after like one of my jobs I had, I ended up leaving that job and I started Design University. Originally it was Design University, but I changed it. 'Cause, like, I was, 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 like
Okay.
I'm like, I don't need to rely on like an actual job to, you know what I'm saying, supply my money. I could actually be doing the same thing myself and just get like full money instead of a salary. You know what I'm saying? Get like a full, get 100% of
Right.
like the actual income I'm actually accumulating. So yeah, that's actually what inspired me, that
Nah, that's what's
job.
up.
And yeah, so and I've been doing it ever since. So yeah.
Nah, that's dope. So it's gonna be like a two-part question. So, what was the first, I guess, project you did for Design You, and then what was your first article of clothing for your clothing brand, Stylistic Science?
That's a
And
good
then, like, how do you
question.
feel about? Yeah, and how
So
you feel
so
about the whole.
you said the first project for Design University, Design U.
Yeah, what was
My
like?
first
Yeah,
project.
yeah,
That's a good question. I'm trying to think. I can
yeah.
say my first
I know you've
like
been working,
kind of
so
what I
it's like,
consider a major pro. I can consider like my first kind of major project. I had a client.
or like you could
She
just do like,
actually like, what's up?
no, no. I was
Would
gonna
you
say
say,
either
Eric?
you
My
could do
fault.
major or like the first project you felt good about, whatever you wanna.
Okay, so like my first major project was as a client of mine. She actually owned a design. I mean, I'm sorry, not design. She owned a dance studio. Like she had like, her own like
Okay.
dance company.
Right.
So I was pretty much um different like advertisement designs to actually promote.
Oh, I think we lost Rob. Hold on, let me see some. Alright, let me try to invite him back in. Hello.
You,
Yeah, it's still a little
you,
choppy, bro. Yeah, I hear you though.
you, you hear me now?
Yeah.
I bet. Yeah. So she was. That was. I don't know what part got cut off. I think I was talking about that design studio that I was branding.
Yeah.
So that was like I consider that was
Okay.
animation for a client. He's actually a
Well, yeah, I
Do
hear
you hear
you.
me, Eric?
Yeah.
Yeah, my
So,
connection is
what were you
wild.
saying? Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, but another one of my projects was up. You get me?
Yep, I hear you.
Yeah, another one of my projects was I actually had to create an animated music video for one of my clients. He's actually an artist.
Oh, damn. Let me see.
Yup, you see me? You good?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, my fault. My connection. Wow, I don't know what's good with my service. But
Nah, you
what, what,
straight.
what, what, what did we leave off after my fault?
You're saying you're doing an animated music video for an artist.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, I got the opportunity to actually create an animated music video for an artist by the name of Voice, and he actually recorded a song with Pop Smoke, actually
Okay,
before
cool.
Pop Smoke passed away, and he was originally supposed to shoot the music video with Pop Smoke, but since unfortunately
Mhm.
Pop Smoke passed away, rest in peace, he actually wanted me to
God bless
create
him, bro.
he wanted me to create an animated music video with him and Pop Smoke in it.
Oh, that was
So
fun.
so I actually had the opportunity to actually create the animated music video for him. It's actually on YouTube now. It's called
Yeah, I
Guns and
seen that one out.
yeah, it's called Guns and Automatics by Voice featuring Pop Smoke. So you can actually look at that right now, actually.
Definitely.
And yeah, so that was a
Yeah,
major.
that's dope.
I
I
was
seen
because
that one
Pop
too.
Smoke
That
is
was dope.
oh, appreciate it. Yeah, Pop Smoke is like he's a legend, man. He's unfortunately passed so soon, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
was really happy to have the opportunity.
Nah, that's dope.
And
And then
so
I think the
if
second
we
part is oh yeah,
what for the clothing, right?
yeah, yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think. My major. Wait, what was the question for the clothing? What was that again? My major product for the clothing.
I guess what was like your first piece of clothing? I guess. Yeah.
My first piece of clothing, I released it actually in college, my freshman year in college, and because originally, how could I describe it? The clothing originally, like when I first designed my first collection, it featured like a black scientist. Because originally the whole concept was about a black scientist, and it was to promote that like the scientist was like intelligent because he was a scientist, but at the same time he was fly. So I used to have him like wearing like what I'm saying, cool like a
Yeah. hmm Right, right, right.
so like that was like my that was like my first collection. It was just like a series of like clothing with like that black scientist like wearing like different type of
Right.
stylish clothing.
Gotcha, gotcha.
So that
That's
was like
dope.
the beginning phase. Yeah.
Gotcha. So, do you
Yep.
enjoy the clothing brand aspect, or do you like enjoy the like which one do you enjoy more, or do you enjoy both equally as much?
Ah, that's a good question. That's a really good question actually. Um I think I think I actually kind of enjoy them equally, but I think I will always like the clothing brand will always be like top because like that's my first
Yeah.
business that I actually established, and I could really completely express. Well, I
Right,
express
right.
myself with my design agency because I design based off like my knowledge, like my profession as like a designer. But like my clothing line, I have a certain message with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to like
Right.
influence the masses with clothing. So like I have like a certain
hmm
concept in my head that I'm like really trying to push, and a certain message in my head that I'm really trying to push through clothing. So like I'll have to say my clothing brand is definitely like the
Definitely.
most important I enjoy, most the company I enjoy the most.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
Gotcha. So, for for both on both ends, do you have like any dream projects you want to work on, or anything like that? Anyone in particular you'd want to do something for?
Yeah, my clothing brand. I'm actually working on my new collection now. I should be dropping it sometime this summertime. I'm a little delayed
Okay.
because of like all the other stuff I got going on, but
Right, right.
I should definitely have that ready definitely by summertime.
Okay.
Um, my design agency, I just rebranded. I just changed my name from Design University to Design U.
hmm
So I have like a whole new game plan for that. Like I'm trying to grow with that and get more well known clients and just really push it more. You
Right,
know what I'm
right.
saying? So yeah,
Gotcha.
those are like the two things that I'm really working on now for both companies.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah,
then this is another two-part question. What was, I guess, your hardest branding project, and then what was your, I guess, hardest task when it came to your clothing brand?
that's a good question.
Yes, I'm gonna do
The
ask good
hardest,
questions.
yeah, I would say for clothing, it's the consistency. It's like staying consistent, always producing relevant designs and sending relevant messages for
Right.
people that could really relate to it, like the masses of people that could really relate. Because you know what I'm saying, fashion is changing every day. You know what I'm saying, fashion is constantly
Definitely.
evolving. People are constantly getting to different trends. So the concept of staying relevant and consistent is the biggest aspect, the biggest
No, yeah,
key
for sure.
for my clothing line. But I've been pretty good. I take a long time though, to tell you the truth. Like for my clothing
Mhm.
brands, like for me to actually put something like on like the computer and design something, it takes probably months. So once I'm actually just
Mhm.
brainstorming concepts, 'cause I have to actually basically get influence. You know what I'm saying? I'm like pretty much like an artist. I hear like a lot of rap artists say, or just music, like people who would do music, they say that they have
Mhm.
to get influence. You know what I'm saying? That's why like people be complaining about Frank Ocean taking
Right.
a long time to drop an album, or like you know, because it's like the artists they really
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
get influenced by like just the nature and just the world.
exactly.
So that as a designer, I'm the same way. So in a clothing brand design, I'm the same way. So I have to really get influence to really put my pretty much put like my profession or my skill to the test and actually create. So it
Right,
takes a while for me
definitely.
to actually design. So and the other question was for my design agency.
Yeah.
And what was that question? Got my fault.
I guess what was the hardest project you got? Like someone gave you a task and it was like kind of
It took
difficult to
forever.
get there. Yeah.
Tell you the truth, the animated Pop Smoke video.
I had a feeling you were gonna say that too, cause that's like a lot of pressure to like make a pop smoke video after
Yeah,
shooting.
exactly. Like it was because like the people they were very like kind of strict, not strict, but yeah,
Hmm.
they were definitely strict because it had to be perfect because
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
of
for
course.
like it was basically for Pop Smoke because he just passed away. So I had to do so much revisions. You know what I'm saying? Like if I did a certain animation, like they were like, "Yo, like you make this a little different," or like you know what I'm saying, change that outfit. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
change that scene. So
yeah,
it
yeah,
was a
yeah.
lot of it was pretty tedious, you know what I'm saying, to like
That's
perfect
crazy.
everything.
We'll eat
But at the end of
dog.
the day, they respected the vision. Yeah,
That's what's up though. So
yeah, appreciate it,
you
bro.
kind of said you're working on yeah, you're working on a summer catalog. You said for your clothing brand.
Yeah,
You have anything else like you're working on, like in terms of like content or anything like that?
yeah. Actually, I have two apps. In the beginning I was trying to have a game app, a mobile game app. It's called Don't Be a Hype
Hmm.
Beast. It's similar to like Alien Invaders, like that old arcade game Alien Invaders. We had to like move your player and shoot, and like you could get like lives to save you and all that. I'm working on like
Right, right.
new levels for that. I'm trying to actually like create more levels to make it more make the game more action packed and more challenging.
Okay.
So I'm working on that. And I'm also I have a motivational app. It's called Stay Woke Daily Quotes. It's a free motivational app in the App Store that you could
Hmm.
download. And it's pretty much it's affirmations and different motivational quotes to get you through your day. And so I'm working on
Yeah, I
adding
definitely use
more
that.
quotes. Yeah, appreciate it. I'm working on new quotes and more features to make it a more like
Okay.
satisfying app for the users. So those are my main focuses
Yeah.
right now, to tell you the
So my man
truth.
definitely staying busy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
definitely
trying, man.
staying busy out
It's
here.
difficult. I'm trying to
Nah, I
balance
hear that.
everything out.
No, yeah, definitely. Now you like I watch you. You've been working like since the day I met you. So like it just
Appreciate it,
it don't
bro.
stop at the end of the day.
Or I'm trying, man.
Yeah. But we're gonna wrap it up with this last question. For people that like kind of want to get into the lane that you're in right now, being like pretty much an independent creator, entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it. What would be like some advice you give people to kind of jump into the lane and like be successful or at least
That's a good
see themselves
question,
making some noise? Yeah.
for sure. The best advice is to truly like know yourself, know your identity, know your purpose, and pretty much just act out of your truth. You know what I'm saying? Like be true to yourself and do what you're really passionate about. You know what I'm saying? don't just do something because you see someone else doing it. Don't do something because it's like it's popular or it's like a trend. Like pretty much act out of your truth. You know what I'm saying? And when you like truly understand yourself and understand like your purpose and understand what you put on this earth to do, experiment and really find out how you could actually use that as a business, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Accumulate income from that, and at the same time help others. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like the universe is all about. It's like a circle, so it's everything's about um, moving in your truth and just inspiring others to do whatever their truth is and their purpose, and it's like a revolving circle, pretty much. It's like
Right.
a circle of life, basically. So
Okay.
the main thing is just to like understand yourself and just once you understand yourself, apply it. Just figure out a way to apply it. Like you'll naturally find out a way to apply it. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So
No,
just
that's
be
pretty
just
good.
just, just be true to yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what I like to
definitely.
say.
No, yeah, that's good advice. 'Cause, people always say like, maybe my stuff isn't good enough. But no, it's true. Like, if you
For
like
sure.
stick to your guns, yeah, you stick to your guns, you stick to what you know. Eventually, it's gonna blossom into something. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And it's all a
I
matter of
agree
time
with
and
that
stay
100%.
and just stay consistent because a lot of people they'll get into they'll get into like a business or they'll start doing something and like they'll get discouraged because it's not picking up how they wanted to pick up or it's not at a certain level. But the people have to realize that just stay consistent, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen overnight, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like a process.
definitely,
You have to
definitely,
really
definitely.
appreciate the process and eventually if you keep on going, it's a matter of time before it blows up or before you pop off because you only lose when you quit.
Yeah,
That's the
for
only
sure.
way you could lose. Like there's no other way, there's no other L's. Like you know what I'm saying? What you consider a L or like something that you like, you know what I'm saying, don't want to happen or like something that you're not progressing in, it's all gained wisdom. I always say that like failure is gained wisdom.
Definitely.
What you consider failure is
Yeah,
gained wisdom. So it's like just take that
for sure.
wisdom, take that experience and just apply it to keep on moving and you know what I'm saying? And you're only gonna get better if you do that.
No, yeah, definitely, definitely.
For sure.
That's something I kind of live by too. Like, as long as you feel like, as long as you can learn something from an L, it's not really an L. Like, you
For
learn
sure.
something, you just apply it, and then
Exactly.
you come back stronger, better, smarter. Yeah,
For
it's always,
sure.
as long as you learn something, then it's not really an L. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
yo, definitely
And
appreciate you
in fact,
for stopping by.
no problem. I appreciate you having me,
Yeah,
bro.
definitely
I really
appreciate you for
appreciate it.
doing this. Yeah. Definitely hope that I'll be in the studio one of these times because the studio's lit
For
a
sure.
little
I'm
bit. Not
definitely, yo,
gonna
let me know. I'm in there.
lie.
I'm in there, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
in there.
definitely.
So,
Definitely appreciate you, man. And yeah, I'll definitely stay in touch with anything.
my guy. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate the opportunity, man. Happy to join.
Yeah, likewise. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no problem, bro. Have a good one, dog.
All right. All right,
All
yeah,
right.
you too. Talk to you soon.
All right, bro.
All
Have a
right,
good
Rob.
one, dog. All right, man.